with the hottest motherfucking podcast on the airwaves. It's your girl, LG Penny Too Smooth. You did, yeah. I'm taking over today.
What's happening? It's your boy E Too Smooth in the mix.
Okay, and we have a special co-host in the building today. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey man, y'all know what's going on. What it is, what it was. Y'all are teaming up with T in the building, man.
Okay, Mr. T, so wavy, baby. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing popping. First, I want you guys to know it is International Women's Month, not day, but month, okay? So we're celebrating the life and everything that women do all year round, not just on the day, not just on the month, but all year round. But I do want to open this up by starting off with a little quote from you guys by Maya Angelou. A woman in harmony with her spirit is like a river flowing. She goes where she will without pretense and arrives at her destination prepared to be herself and herself only. So if you guys aren't aware, to me, harmony is like basically being peaceful, being able to be pleasant without feeling harmful any type of way, being unbothered. And I feel like that is something that we should master all, whether you're a woman or a man. But most definitely, when a woman is at peace with herself, when she has that self-love, when she has that pure self-care for herself, there's nothing that you can tell her. She is undefeated. And that's what I love about us women. So shout out to all those women, baby, because what Tupac say? Huh? Ain't a woman alive like to my mama's place.
Hey, but quick too. You know, I just want to give a shout out to all the single parents out there, independent women that's doing it. I know you don't get enough love, enough shout outs, enough, you know, a lot of attention, but it never goes unnoticed. So to you, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, because you know my mom was a single mom. She was an independent woman, so. To all the independent women, single women out there, man, y'all keep doing y'all thing.
Hats off to y'all. Hats off to y'all.
All right. So with the first topic of the day, we're going to pop it off. What is the perfect balance between discipline and freedom? Now talk to me now. Discipline versus freedom. What is discipline to you?
Before we get into, I'm going to let the host go. I'm going to let the co-host go.
Co-host, Mr. T-Wavy.
What's the
difference between...
perfect balance between the two?
The balance between the two, yeah.
I feel like they go hand in hand. And that's simply because in order for you to be disciplined, what was the question? What was the question?
You need freedom? What is the perfect balance between discipline and freedom?
So in order for you to have discipline, you got to have a little freedom as well. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing vice versa. In order for you to have freedom, you also have to discipline yourself.
Most definitely. I can agree with that.
So in order for you, like, say we sitting here, this is free. We have freedom right now.
Freedom of speech.
But we also put it within ourselves because we all have jobs. We all have our responsibilities each and every day. So we need to be disciplined to make sure that we take care of all our responsibilities to still sit here. What time is it? 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
To have the freedom to sit here and handle our business while we still have fun.
No, for real. That's a good topic. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I really didn't even think about it to that point. You know what I'm saying? Now that you said that, it really do make sense.
Yeah. It does.
But to me, like, I know when we discussed about the topics earlier on in the week, the first thing that came to my mind is simple. To me, it depends on where you at that point in your life. Because I truly believe discipline, you know what I'm saying, and what's the other one? Freedom. I feel like it runs together. You know what I'm saying? It's like to be free, you have to be very disciplined. You see what I'm saying? So to be disciplined, that means you have to be aware of the things that you have seen within yourself that's not right. So you have to fix it. You see what I'm saying? So for you to be all the way free, you have to have some type of discipline in yourself. You see what I'm saying? So some people might be like, nah, that ain't right. But no, think about it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was in your lifetime that had stopped you or hindered you from doing the things that you wanted to, or the things that you think that is perfect for you, you know what I'm saying? It's always came at what you had to adjust yourself. You had to sit back, you had to think, you know what I'm saying?
Get that discipline, that structure.
Also with that, you can have so much freedom and not be disciplined at all. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, because when you get to college, honestly and truly, college is not for everyone. But I can for a fact say that when you get to college, it's easy to tell the crowd that it's been disciplined and those who didn't have any discipline or freedom. It's a lot of people out here, once you get that one little ounce of freedom, it's like they go wild, they don't know how to act right, all the discipline goes out the door. So it is important to have the balances too. Now, OG Penny feels as if they do go hand in hand as well, so I do agree with you guys. Because freedom is what everyone wants. You know, that's something everyone wants to be. They want to be free. They want to be able to act freely. They want to be able to have a job and still be able to do what they want when they want, whether it's the weekend, during the week, you know. That's like the American dream. Everybody's goal is to have that ounce of freedom, even if it's not to the extent of just going somewhere. It can just be doing what you want to do, you know, because some people have jobs, they have all these priorities, but you still want that freedom to go traveling when you want to travel, you know what I mean? But most definitely, because I feel like the only way to get a place of freedom is through discipline, because discipline equals freedom. You know, it applies to every aspect of our life. We need that structure in order to know how to act, because like you said, well, like I just said, once you get to college, it's easy to tell who had discipline, who was just free all the time. You got people who get to college and they just go to every party, but they not in class at 8:15 in the morning. So that shows you had all the freedom to do what you wanted to do, but you didn't have that discipline to be like, okay, although I'm going to this party and leaving at 3 in the morning, I'm still gonna be up for class at 6 and ready by 8:15. That's discipline for you. So
having that discipline creates that freedom.
Creates that freedom, exactly.
But I got a question for both of y'all.
What's cracking?
So, what is, to you guys, what is the true definition of freedom? True definition of freedom. What is that? What does that look like?
In multiple words and multiple like phrases that you can put it in is wealth, riches, peace, sanity.
Freedom is most definitely peace and sanity. I would tie that into peace and sanity, because to me, freedom, there's nothing in this world that is free. So to me, I feel like when they say the land of the free in the national anthem, I don't even know what they're relating to, because it's like, you know, you go break. You go outside and breathe, it costs $1,500. But I most definitely feel like freedom would be more so what one wants to do, being able to be free, being able to feel loose, being able to just do as you please, basically without the structure of someone or the demand of someone telling you what to do, what to say. I feel like that's how you know you're free. Yeah. Because you can be a grown-ass person that doesn't have a lot of freedom, just simply because you work all day, every day. You know what I mean? It's just a difference. You can be grown with no freedom, or you can be young with no freedom. It just depends on what you're doing.
What you got
know what I mean?
And
how you handle yours. Because if you are disciplined enough, then hopefully you have crossed them T's and dotted them I's, and now you know
I'm not
what you
gonna
got
lie
to
to
do.
y'all, though. I feel like, for me, and this is truly for me, the true definition of freedom, I feel like it comes from me when I wake up in the morning, and I love who I am. I love my flaws. I love, what drives me. I love what, whatever it is that's pushing me constantly, whatever it was that happened to me in my past that made me the man that I am today, that makes me go harder with whatever I'm doing, that's freedom to me. That's being able to wake up and be like, I know I messed up here. I had this flaw. I had this flaw, this flaw, this
being
flaw.
able to start
But,
over.
You know what I'm saying? And I done sat here and I done analyzed it. I done found out what flaw that it was that messed me up, and I disciplined myself enough to fix it. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
From your
That's
mistakes.
why I say discipline and freedom goes hand in hand. See, some people say that freedom can be, with wealth. Yeah, it can be. But I feel like for you to really understand what freedom means with wealth, you have to be free from yourself. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause we all go through things.
So you're saying it's more internal?
It gotta be.
Most definitely.
It gotta be.
Instead of
materialistic.
It got to be. Because, bro, that's just like tea. If I took the material things that you love away from you, you know what I'm saying, then what do you have? You just have the time of who you are to yourself. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like it's hard for some people, for what OG Penny said earlier.
Yes, sir.
I can speak to it. I can attest to it. Coming into college, I wanted to go to the parties. You know what I'm saying? I was in the parties more than I was
Everybody
in
trying to tell you.
class. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn the hard way. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I was going to say, it's a lot of people who do learn the hard way, because me personally, so a question I have for y'all, let's say y'all have a daughter. I think this is something very important, because a lot of women like me, I can speak for myself, I was raised by my mother and father, but I was raised with enough discipline and not enough freedom, but it wasn't to the point where it had me going crazy in college, because you do have some people where they didn't know how to act once they got that ounce of freedom, so they were just bouncing off walls, going to every party, going to every play, not making sure their priorities were handled. And like, how do you know how to balance that when you have a child, whether it's a male or a female? Because I feel like sometimes parents, men or women, they tend to give more freedom to the men, the male child, the little boys. But when it comes to the little girl, she doesn't have as much freedom, but she has more discipline. Do you feel like that can make her more sneaky? Do you feel like there's a way you can go about that?
I feel like me speaking as having two boys, and then also being raised, and being raised by my mama like herself and my grandma. So I just feel like I will be a little bit more flexible with my little boys, and that's just how like society has just made it itself. Like, you gotta protect your little girl, you gotta protect your daughter, because there's no problem, like no way that you can predict what's gonna happen when she walking out to the bus stop to go to school or walking home. You know what I'm saying? So to eliminate any of the like anything going on at parties, you know, rape, forbid anybody being raped or like alcohol poisoning. Like you don't ever want you don't want your daughter to go through that traumatic experience, and that's just how everything has been set up from whenever we were little kids and our parents were little kids. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree, but I feel like, what about those males who should have been raised to learn what they should not do, like you just mentioned? You want to raise your women, your young ladies, to be able to avoid or not have to go through certain things, but there's those young men who still need that structure. They still need that discipline to know I shouldn't rape a young lady. So do y'all feel like if y'all raised a little boy the same way you raised your daughter, would that help out? Do you feel like that will kind of balance? You know what I mean? Instead of giving them so much leeway, instead of it just being like, oh, well, you a boy, you can do that. Instead, be like, nah, you can't do this either. You know what I mean?
There's still structure to it. Like I tell my oldest, he's 3 years old. You know, we sit down, we have our little time, we talk. You know, even though I'm 25, he's 3, he still understands and comprehends. So what I tell him, like, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. But at the same time, you know not to do this.
Right.
See, but to piggyback off of what you just said, and to answer your question, I was gonna say the same thing. Like I said, my mama was a single parent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a father in my house.
Right.
So it was only so much things that she could teach me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the rest that I had to learn either through, you know, my partner's fathers, or I had to learn through the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Your uncles, grandfathers,
you know what I'm saying? Mentors or whatever, coaches or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, I feel like, it's gonna always be harder to raise a woman than it is to raise a man. You see what I'm saying? Because you got more to give a woman than you do a man. You see what I'm saying? You gotta teach them how to, you know, one, stand up on their own. You gotta teach them how to be independent. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to teach a man how to do that. You do. You really do. You see what I'm saying? But like you just say, you gotta watch it. In my head, I understand, like, what I was doing as a young kid, 9 times out of 10, it could come back and be done to my child. You know what I'm saying? So now I have to sit down and I have to explain to her. I have to really give her the game. And plus, women develop and learn more quicker than men. You see what I'm saying? So I can sit there and give her the game and tell her, look, this is what you need to look out for. This is what you need to watch. This is what you need to pay attention to. And she'll pick up on it quicker than me telling my son, like, listen, you know, this, that. But, Dad, why?
See, I hear you, but at the same time, I personally feel like y'all don't feel like it should be the same way when it comes to the young men and males, and I feel like this especially because it's hard, but shit, it's hard for a female too. I feel like when it comes to men, we literally just grew up, I mean, it's not just happening, but like, you know, police brutality. Everybody killing these black men. You have so many things that can happen to them in the streets or at school, whether it be a police officer killing him or another person that looked like him on the street. You know what I mean? So to me, I feel like it's kind of hand in hand, because that's actually why I fear having a son. I have 5 brothers, and my biggest fear is to get a call or to see one of them have been harmed by the police or another brother like them. So I feel like it's kind of hard because, shoot, you couldn't have a little girl and just be scared about her being the H word or her turning out to be this and that, wearing little clothes. But is that really as serious and detrimental as a male growing up and not being held to the same the same responsibilities of being taught the same things, that way he can avoid being in the streets or avoid doing this and that, you know what I mean? I feel like it kind of ties hand in hand, because me having 5 brothers, I feel like if I had a little sister, even though I have sisters, I feel like it's still a slight difference, but I also feel like it's still the same type of discipline that should be treated to both of them. Because I do have a brother who didn't have his father, and we kind of going on 2 different paths right now. So to me, it's like, okay, sometimes, even though I did have both father figure and mother figure to keep me disciplined and teach me freedom. He needs that too. How come he didn't? Just because he was a male, they feel like, oh, well, he'll be okay because he's a boy. But now look at him,
but
like, you know what I mean?
You just said though, like you gotta think about it. As men, that's not our first thing. Like, yeah, it's some crazy things.
Which means you should be taught that.
That's true.
Right.
But as a man, when a little boy fall and he hit his knee or scrape his
told
knee,
to toughen up. Right.
Up, you know what I'm saying? What are you crying for? Now I'm not saying that that's right. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how we teach our sons.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So to a man, now as a woman, yeah, that's different. You want your son to be safe. You want your son to be protected. That's cool.
But to
that's
y'all,
the same,
it's kind of like just toughen up.
No, it's the same way that we feel about our girls. You see what I'm saying? We want them to be protected. We want them to be, you know what I'm saying?
But y'all want
safe.
them to be the protectors.
But as a man, if I want my son to be a warrior. I want him to be a survivor. I want you to understand, like, this world is not meant and built for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want you to be able to sustain it. I want you to be able to go through it. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? That's every parent's worst nightmare. Waking up, having a phone call saying that, you know what I'm saying, your son or your daughter is
I wouldn't know what to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Either one of my little boys.
No, like really, that's your biggest fear. But as a man teaching that to his son, and again, I'm not saying that it's right, but that's just how it is. Like I want you to be safe, of course, but I know that I done taught you the game. I done gave you what I could. So if from that point on, I know that you're older, or you're not man enough, but you're mature enough to handle that, even at a young age. You know what I'm saying? That's with your son. When you tell him no, what knows me, no.
So with me, just like I didn't have my pops in my household either until like I got a little older, but you know he was in and out, that type of thing. So I'm raising my kids based off of how I did not get that
right.
Yeah.
So,
makes sense.
So whenever coming to that, me going through my own hard struggles with my moms and my grandma, I'm making sure I implement the things that just I learned from like my coaches, my uncles, and all that good stuff to make sure that
he utilizes those things.
Exactly. Make sure he gets it at a young age and not at 15, 16, 17 when it really counts. Because at some point in time, just like my mom told me, and I didn't understand when I was younger, that every man is gonna need their father at some point in time in their life.
And and I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna just say that because I was just having this conversation with a friend the other day, and I told him it does not, like, you can only do so much.
Oh yeah.
As a mother, you can only do so much, especially a single. You can only do so much. You can't teach a man how to be a man.
You
can
teach him how to be a gentleman.
Love, you know what I'm saying? Love a woman, treat a
it.
woman, you know, take care of her. You can teach him that, how to respect a woman, and things like that. But at the end of the day, when the boy turns 13, 12, 11, 10, you need that father figure in your life. And I can say that because I didn't have it. His father came, mine's never showed up. You see what I'm saying? So for me, everything that I had to learn, it was a discipline. You see what I'm saying? I had to teach myself that, or I had to pay attention to other role models and mentors or whatever, coaches and things like that, to show me what a man's supposed to be like. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say, I feel where you're coming from. It's hard. It's really hard.
But do y'all also feel like if you raised your daughters the way you raised your little boys, do you feel like that'll make a slight difference in the way they're treated maybe? Because for example,
like what you mean?
I feel as if most males, they're kind of taught, you do what you want to do, you ain't got to do the most. I'm not saying you got to do the most for a female, but you know how y'all be treating them. I feel like like with my little brothers, they're not really taught to have to take nothing serious when it comes to stuff like that. But with a little girl, it might be the opposite. You don't want to sleep around with everybody. You want to take your time to do this, but whole time, the male's doing the opposite because that's what they were taught. You know what I mean? So do you feel like if you taught your daughter at an early age how to handle and encounter those men who are trying to run game, do this and that can keep them from avoiding a lot of things in the long run? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So how come, you know?
What to put up with and not. What not to put up with. That's easy. That's simply put right there.
Like, that's why I said earlier, like, it's like you would think that, you know what I'm saying, with me having a son, I can teach my son again how to be a man. How to
Hello.
You got something to put on there.
Come on now.
I guarantee you.
Whoa. He too smooth, got a baby smooth. Baby smooth over.
But now I'm saying, like,
tell me something
new. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a son, you can teach a son how to love a woman, treat a woman, things like that, of course. But as a father, and as crazy as it sounds, my main, if I have a little girl, my main priority, and I have a son. My main priority is not to. I'm teaching my son how to be a man, of course, but I'm also teaching my daughter how to be a woman, how to pay attention, how to look, how to, you know what I'm saying?
See the signs, nip it in the bud as soon as you see it.
To move on, you see what I'm saying? And so that's why I say, like, it's fucked up, but that's just how it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, a boy fall, get up, what you crying for? Now, my baby girl fall, come to daddy's baby, come here, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me take care of you, let me show you this, let me show you how this, that's just how it is.
So my question is, a little quick question, so I know y'all ain't got kids right now, so just like you said, whenever you do have that little boy and that little girl, you had that little boy and that little girl, are you raising them the same, or are you raising them separately so they can feed off of each other?
Right,
so
because that is a good question, because I have a coworker who said she's going to be gender neutral in her house. So, meaning she's not going to treat her little girl separately or differently than if she treats her little boy. She's going to keep everything neutral. Do you feel like that can work out? Do you feel like, you know?
But at the same
y'all saying
time,
it gotta be, but you're saying you should do your son like
No.
that,
What I'm saying is what we see in society.
Okay,
That's what goes on.
Gotcha.
But in my household, it has to be the same.
Right.
Because it's just like my mom. She raised me and my sister the
exact
same way. You see
right.
what I'm saying? And that's why me and my sister so close. She can call me. She can tell me when things are going wrong. Dude try to do it, she can tell me that.
Most
because
definitely.
I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the important reason. That's important. You know what I'm saying?
While also teaching your little boy what it is and how it is to be a man, while also still teaching your daughter what it is and how to be a princess to grow into a queen as well.
Right.
And how to truly love a man.
And love herself.
No.
I feel like that's what I was going to say. I feel like if we teach them at a younger age, because a lot of people grew up off of survival versus love, and I feel like sometimes it can be a burden, but if you still love your child and show them enough affection, then they should still be able to cherish that and bring that onto other people. Because I feel like that is something that a lot of people kind of struggle with, especially if they were brought up off of different things. You know, some people was always trying to help fam to find what they was going to eat. Or, you know, some sisters and siblings or little boys, whatever, was trying to just make it to the next day. You know, you just never know. So I feel like everybody receiving love in different ways is important to how they grow up. But most definitely with a female, I feel like, you know, if you show her that affection as well as that self-care, then she won't look for that in another man. But the same thing for a male as well. If we show them more affection and stop treating them like they can't show emotion or they're not accepted to that type of love, then they'll be more willing to show that type of love, you know?
Don't be so quick to judge.
Right. Don't be judgmental.
Especially now.
I hate judgmental.
Our generation, I don't know what it is.
Especially these new age motherfuckers. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like, never mind.
But
see, look at you.
But listen, bro, you gotta understand something, bro. We had this talk off air plenty of times. It comes down to this. If you're dealing with a dude that's not used to opening up, that don't know
teach him how to open up.
You have to, but you gotta be patient.
I'm about to say you gotta be patient. You can't just press
patience with them. Right. And I feel like nowadays it's too many girls, women out here that's I'm not here to be nobody's mama. Ain't nobody asking you to be nobody's mama.
Right. I agree.
Like you're not asking me to be your dad.
I hate that because I feel like if you really genuinely care for one person,
you're gonna take the time.
I feel like you will take the time and you're not gonna be upset about how they come off because you're really gonna want to understand them. That's the thing that really goes wrong in a lot of relations. People aren't there to understand each other. They're there for their own benefits or their own personal reasons. And I feel like in order to really get past that, you have to stop being selfish, for one. You just have to feel for the other person. Instead of always thinking for yourself, you have to think for the other individual, whether it's a male, female, you gay, bisexual, whatever. Think for the other person, because you never know how that person may feel internally or whatever.
So real quick, I got my T Jones on here. She's viewing into the Dae By Dae show. You know what I'm saying?
T Jones, mama wave.
So shout out moms, love you. But her little comment was, kings need to be able to show emotion just as the same as queens.
I agree. I'm not gonna lie. I have to catch myself sometimes
She
because
knows.
I was raised around 5 boys, so I was kind of tough. Like I was my daddy's first girl, his first child. So of course I was one riding around the Cadillac with a red flag, acting like I was a little. Well, sure, we should gang, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I got the best of my world, so I know how to kind of, act on both sides. But I most definitely agree. You should be able to make your partner feel vulnerable and allow them to feel vulnerable with you. Because if you don't, then how else are they going to express themselves? Who are they going to express themselves to the next?
And that's how you learn each other too.
Exactly.
I know we're not really talking about relationships, but that's also how you learn each other within
it
it too.
It really is though, but that's why I say like you have to be understanding. I know a lot of women that say, I don't got time to play nobody's mom, or I don't have time to worry about a man that that's showing. If he's showing his emotion, he's too weak for me. But how? You see what I'm saying? But when you get in a situation,
you be
and
mad
if he
when
don't show his situation,
exactly. Now he don't care.
So
he's
I
not
need
interested
you to
in
find a balance between what it is.
But the only thing I can
see
say
what I'm
about
saying?
that, because I have been one of the people, because I don't mind a male showing his emotions, but I do agree to a certain extent. Like, it's the way you show your emotions. I feel like that's very key. People don't realize it's the way you can show someone how you feel. You don't have to necessarily argue. You don't have to cry. You don't have to shout. You don't have to, a lot of us don't know how to express ourselves without doing it in a peaceful, calm way.
But that also goes into like a teaching point. So say on our end, OG, me and you, we're together in a relationship, and I don't know how to express my emotions. So all I want to do is argue. I want to yell, all that.
Right.
But you gotta learn also to be patient and also tell us like, look, baby, calm down. Like talk to me. It ain't gotta be a screaming match. Calm down instead of retaliating.
Right.
Oh,
and then if that
person
continues to show you after you voice to them, hey, I don't want to do this yelling match, and if they continue to show you that's all they want to do, that's the only way they can express themselves, then it's okay to move on. If you've given that person the okay or the nah, look, we can fix this in different ways, and they choose not to peacefully express themselves, then most definitely it's okay to turn the other cheek.
But before we get into the
second
questions,
topic.
No. Before we get into the questions, I want to ask you this. So what you just said, that it gets on your nerves, right? When a man, if he's expressing himself and he's doing it wrongfully, right? Now my question to you is this. Like I said earlier, if he doesn't do it, then it's a problem. You see what I'm saying? But the thing of it is like he said, what if he don't know? And if he don't know
how to express himself,
how deep is the love that you have for him? Are you willing to go to
find out? My question is, how are you supposed to know if he doesn't know how to express himself? Because to you might feel like, oh well, he don't like to tell me stuff, or he feel like this and that, but the whole time he just don't know how.
Just like my mom just said,
how they feel, just by how they actions. You know what I'm saying? If
body language.
If they not talking, if they just off quiet, or they deal with certain things on their own. Especially if you have a man that's, that's known, it's not known, but he known to deal with his emotions on his own.
By himself.
You know what I'm saying? He deal with it within, if it's work or if he, off doing what he's drinking or whatever the case is. He finds ways to deal with the emotion.
Right.
But my thing is, and that's why I say, nowadays it's too easy.
Right.
If it's so hard, both sides, we not willing to go far enough to find out what's the reason behind it.
I can agree. A lot of people are willing to just throw in the flag nowadays and be like, I ain't dealing with this. I ain't got to do with this because I ain't got to.
Why?
I ain't got to do
I'm not the daddy. I'm not
that lets you know that you shouldn't be with that person, though.
Open communication, that's all it is.
See, and I'm that type of person, I ain't gonna lie, for a while I was thinking maybe I'm the problem because I realized I'm the type, I don't mind communicating 100% what I want, what it is I expect, what it is how I feel. And a lot of people don't know how to accept that, maybe because they never had anyone to do that with them, or they just never did it themselves. But I most definitely feel like sometimes that can be a problem when you haven't had that comfort to express to someone. Because I've been one of them people, hey, you can tell me how you feel, what it is you want, or whatever, put it on the table, but they never did that. So to me, it's just like, okay, well, if I've given you that comfort zone to let you know it's a safe zone with me and you can't do that, then that's no longer my problem.
And we also got to give it up to the women as well. We can't just really just put it on us, like not knowing how to show, like express our own emotions. Just like my homegirl Amber just said, it's vice versa where a woman might not be able to
show her emotions as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no telling what she's been through in her own personal life, her own relationship.
I can agree, because a lot of men do act as if, like, I meet a lot of dudes, I'm not finna just be lovey-dovey off Philly with the first person I chill with. I feel like if I don't know you that well, you're not gonna get that side of me. And to a dude, it'll be like, oh, she acting like she don't wanna.
She's stuck up.
If you don't give me that comfort or that okay to feel like that, or if you're not showing that emotion towards me, then it's gonna make me feel like you're not. You know what I mean?
That's why I was finna say, I feel that, but I disagree with it. And the reason why I disagree with it is because, I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with it. Because I truly feel like as a woman, you're gonna do whatever it is that you wanna do for the person that you really want to do it for. You see what I'm saying? So even if you're the person that you don't wanna open up, you don't wanna speak, you don't wanna talk, or you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to show your feelings.
I'm not saying you don't know how.
If you find the right man that brings it out, you
a lot of people will
half-ass it,
take advantage.
I'm gonna
too,
half-ass. You see what I'm saying? It's wrong, but it feels so good to be right. There you go. But we have in-house guest, Mr. Bartender himself, Mr. Wavy Apparel himself. Hey man, the streets really want to know, familiar, the fam, they really want to know. Who are you? Where are you from?
And what made you start?
And how did you get here?
Yeah.
All right, man. So, government name, Trent Nolan. 25 years old. Just like I said earlier, I got 2 kids. Originally born Wichita Falls, Texas. Raised in Arlington, Texas. Shout out to the ag. I ended up coming to commerce through transfer. Like I had a football scholarship at this other school, and I got.
Oh, you don't want to?
No, it's in the past. You know what I'm saying? It's in the past. So it is what it is. So I went through my own trials and tribulations there. It was a predominantly white school, private institution. So I was very like maybe 10% of the population there was us. You know what I'm saying? So we went through our own trials and tribulations, my friend group, and it didn't end so hot for a few of us. So it was like, okay, it's time to close this chapter.
Right. Move on.
And so that's how I ended up here in commerce.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Well, I know, that you wear many hats. You, like I say, Mr. Bartender, you have your own clothing line. You have a lot of more things that's going on behind the scenes that's coming to the light later on in the dates.
Most definitely. So y'all stay tuned.
But just explain to me, man, how did Wavy come about?
Oh man, Wavy came about in 2015, or spring 16 actually. Spring 16. I was going through my trials and tribulations at the time. I was on suspension with the football team that I was playing for, but at that time, I wasn't on scholarship, and at the time, my grades was plummeting, so I had to pay out of pocket. And so the first thing, I didn't want to sell drugs or anything like that, but at the same time I wanted to keep up with my schooling, and didn't really have time to get a job, so I wanted to, maybe I can do this and this and this. So I was playing on the computer, just sitting in the dorm room. I came up with a logo, just playing around, just to see what's gonna happen. So I liked it, put a little sunset, some waves, some birds, and so with me, my thing is you gotta stay wavy. You stay in your own zone. Stay chill, level-headed, you know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody just ride the wave. Just don't try to force anything. That was my whole little thing because, like I said, I was going through my things there, so I was trying to keep myself level-headed from everything else that was going on.
As you should. That self-love, that self-care.
Exactly. So, after all that good stuff was done, I ended up getting kicked out of school and I ended up becoming incarcerated. So during that time, I wasn't able to keep up with, exactly. So during that time before I was incarcerated, it did have a little buzz on campus and all that good stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe I got something going. I never really had a passion in making clothes or designing clothes or anything, but if it's bringing in money, you know what I'm talking about.
Why not?
You want to see what it's about.
Exactly. So I ended up getting incarcerated, all that good stuff. And then whenever I came here to commerce, I was introduced to my friend AJ. AJ. So he brought me in. I told him about my little idea of getting Wavy back up and running. And then he brought me into you guys, E2 Smooth, OG Penny. And they, they sent me in, interviewed me, Dae By Dae Productions. You know what I'm saying? And basically, in Dae By Dae Productions, how y'all presented it to me was we all got our own things going on, and we all got to feed each other. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've always been about that, about the team, about putting everybody else on, and building the empire up from there. So I was like, I want all that. You know what I'm saying? I want all that.
Well, let me ask you this. What does Wavy stand for?
Wavy stand. This is actually funny. This, like I said, it's been 2016 and we in 2021 now. So it's been almost 5 years. 5 years. No cap. It's almost been 5 years, and I'm just now. Maybe a month ago, coming up with an acronym for it.
Walk us through it. What was that like?
I was going through something within my own personal life where I was stuck in my head that, okay, maybe I'm not good enough for this. Maybe I'm not good enough for her. Maybe I'm not good enough to impress XYZ. And so I was putting myself down, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. We us growing up, something we always grow. We're growing from what we've been through, but there's nothing wrong with it. So worship all varieties of yourself.
Okay.
And
take me as I am.
That also goes like within people who suffer from anxiety, depression, bipolar, tall, short, skinny,
whatever. Ugliness.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta love yourself. Especially like to tie it back into like relationships. You gotta love yourself before you can give yourself to somebody else. Exactly.
Love to get you there.
So, my next thing is for you is so where did Mr. Bartender come in? Because it seemed like you got Wavy going and the reasoning and the meaning behind it is powerful. So where did Mr. Bartender come in at?
I'm not even gonna cap to you. Like my actual job, my government job is I'm a server and bartender, mostly bartender. You know what I'm saying? So
you be getting paid to mess people up.
Oh yeah.
You
know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I came in as a bartender. I'm a people person. I like talking and interacting with other people. So the best way to do that, people get to talking whenever they get a little alcohol in their system. You know what I'm saying? So people want to have get off work, come in and have a drink, unwind from the work day, and I enjoy that. I enjoy making people happy and letting them feel like they gotta unwind before they go back to the crib and deal with the family, get them in bed, get everybody ready for the next day. So I wanted to incorporate something outside of work. So basically, I wanted to I'm good at bartending, I'm good at talking to people, networking, all that good stuff. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to be able to bartend parties, anniversaries, weddings, stuff like that. So I'll be able to take my work into also a side hustle. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 streams of revenue. My actual government job, and then Wavy, and then Mr. Bartender. And the name Mr. Bartender just came up because I didn't have a name. And so the first little party that I did, everybody was coming up to me talking about, excuse me, Mr. Bartender. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, Mr. Bartender. It just stuck. My cousin made fun of me at first, but shout out Cuzzo, Loso. He made fun of me a little bit, but I made it work. You know what I'm saying? It's not the name, it's what you make with the name. So it kind of stuck with me.
But before the second topic, we'll go ahead and take this commercial break, and we're giving you guys the new artist of the week. We got YSC Kivo in the building. Who is him? What you mean? Where he from? Gang, I gotta tap in. Hold on. We got my AMG. I'm on a good partner in it. He all about his money. We got the Addy Flow. He's from Dallas, Texas. So yes, we have a local artist, Triple D Stereo. Like I said, YSC Kivo. We're gonna go ahead and tap in. All right, and we're back. Live with the Day Late Show, you guys. OG Penny Smooth in his thing. he ain't too smooth today, because I'm sure.
Hold on, G.
Wait a minute. I come in one day. I come in late.
One
you
day.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm sitting in the chair today. Period. Anyway, that shit. Do you feel that people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone? What do you guys feel about that? And I'm not gonna lie, I love this topic specifically because I feel like that is something that a lot of people struggle with. Stepping out of their comfort zone. There is nothing wrong with trying to do something that you're not used to, doing something that you're not used to, like I said, in order to get new results, in order to be around a new crowd, in order to get new energy, you have to do stuff that you're not used to doing. So, me personally, I love this topic because I feel like a lot of people are too comfortable where they are. A lot of people, whether it's family, friends, whoever, associates, if you pay attention to their patterns, what they do every day on a day-to-day basis, and if they're still doing the same things, then that should let you know a lot. for one, you comfortable.
Right.
Two, you're not trying to do anything to elevate or improve yourself. You know what I mean? You should always hang around a crowd that is doing better than you or more than you. You should never be the only person in your group that's exceeding expectations. I just said what I said. And if he is, then move the fuck around. Let's sit at a new table.
In that group, you gotta push everybody. Everybody gotta push everybody.
But if them people aren't right, exactly. But you can't force someone to do what they're not doing. You know what I mean? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Period.
You hear me?
Space. So, Nisha, you know that.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about people being afraid to step out of their comfort zone?
Yes, people are 100% definitely afraid to step out of their comfort zone.
Right.
For reasons as in growing up, whatever they've been through growing up.
People are scared to feel.
Exactly. Some people don't like being neglected. Some people don't like being turned down.
But to me, I feel like those are signs. If God is taking you away from something, then He's pushing you towards something better.
Exactly.
If He's denying you and closing His door, then He's opening up a new door for you.
And I'm glad that you said that because what I got and what I think about it is, like I say, acceptance is the key word in this. And I say that because you have to get to a point where you don't think about getting outside of the comfort zone, but you got to be willing to walk out in faith. You got to have faith. You got to walk by faith and not by sight. Now, when I say that, people gonna be like, here you go again with the preaching. Nah, but it's serious. It's the truth. When you start, like real talk. When you start to walk by your faith and you start to let God guide your being, you see what I'm saying? Everything for you becomes clear.
It becomes easy.
I done talked to a lot of people over these weeks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you the 5 things that I feel that helped me.
5.
Get out my comfort
Not 2,
zone.
not 3, but 5.
Just throw this in there, man. Growing up, my grandma always told me, let go and let God.
That's the real saying. That's the real saying. You have to. You gotta let Him deal with the things that you can't control. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like your comfort zone is something that you can control.
Exactly.
But if you don't understand how to maneuver the pieces, you know what I'm saying, to help you, to guide you, then again, you walking by sight and not by faith. But these are the 5 things that I have.
Okay.
First, you got to become aware of what's outside of your comfort zone. Make sure, identify what it is that you need to fix to get outside the comfort zone. That's 1. 2, become clear about what you are aiming to overcome. Again,
being able to differentiate what it is that you're doing, what it is that you want.
What are you willing to fix? What is the distance you're
Need
willing to go
versus
to?
want.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Most definitely.
Boom. The 3rd is get comfortable, but also be comfortable with being discomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You have to be discomfortable. That's the only way that it's gonna work. If you don't understand how to be uncomfortable, being comfortable is gonna be the hardest part for you. You see what I'm saying? That's 3.
I agree.
But this one right here, number 4, to me is the biggest one. You have to see your failures as teachers. You see what I'm saying? You have to let your failure teach
is a lesson.
You have to learn how to turn an L, because every L could be double flipped, multiplied, added, subtracted. To dub. You see what I'm saying? That's 4. And number 5, again, take baby steps. It's okay. Just because you right now you don't understand where you are in your life, right now things are not happening the way that you want it to happen. Right now the results that you're looking for is not coming the way that you want it. You have to be patient. Take baby steps. You know what I'm saying?
Proof is in the progress.
I'm gonna tell you, and this is my testimony. I had an interview earlier today before the show, and this guy he asked me, he said, how did the Dae By Dae show become? And I told him a lot of people are just not seeing the after effects of this.
3 years.
The Dae By Dae show, not even 3. We started in 2018. Me and Penny was in a one closet room. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's 3. Whatever.
Yes, sir.
In a box.
But, you know what I'm saying?
Closet.
We was in the closet with one microphone going backwards and forward. You
No,
know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
I remember that.
But now we are able to do what we
We
do.
got 5 mics.
You hear me?
So
You
it's
get a
baby
mic. You
steps.
get a
I'm proud
mic.
to y'all, man. I'm proud to y'all. Y'all really doing y'all thing
that's
out here,
real
bro.
talk.
It's
Bro.
like I say, bro.
If you
just
want it hard
got to
enough,
be
you'll make it
willing,
work.
bro.
On me.
You got to be willing. You got to step out.
And see the
on
bigger
faith.
picture.
When all the doors are closed in front of you, man, you got to be willing
And
to
that's
open
something
up one.
I want to
Just
add
one.
as well. I feel like a lot of people aren't used to looking at the bigger picture. So many people are focused on now and what it is that they aren't doing, that they haven't realized. You came so far from where you used to be.
Yeah.
If you look at today and think of 5 days ago, you still made progress. If you look at today and look at a year ago, you've made progress. Those little things still count. Everything that you do, whether it's just eating healthier, drinking healthier, cutting down on this, what you watch, the way you spend your time, whether it's working out in the gym, you know what I mean? Like I was talking to either of them, I'm saying we need to start getting our mental and our body, physically, mental health together. You know what I mean? We spend so much time trying to celebrate and key and do this. We can do the same thing together in a healthy style. So all it takes is for you to get out of that mindset and be like, look, it's time for us to go to the next level. And that was me being in my comfort zone. At first I was like, well, I mean, we always do this. That's being comfortable. That's you want to just do the same thing, wind back and sit back, and you know what you're used to. You have to force yourself to get out of that zone. You have to get uncomfortable. You might think stuff going wrong today, but I bet you 2 weeks from now you'll be like, dang.
I can say
I see why it switched up for me.
Trials and tribulations, like I said, back in 2016, I was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So up until now, am I in the place where I want to be? Absolutely not.
But are you in a better place than what you were 4 or 5 years ago?
And that's going to keep me going. That should keep you going. If you look back to, like you say, even 5 days ago, 2 weeks, 2 months, 20 years ago. Like, but
as long as you're making a slight difference, that's what matters.
And this is what I'm going to say.
Never allow yourself to be comfortable.
Don't let your dreams or whatever it is that you're chasing die behind the what if. That's the biggest thing. Because
what ifs can turn into maybes or yes.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
It is. Ain't no what ifs, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
What if it does work? Think of it in a positive light.
Let your stuff die behind the what if.
Most definitely. Because what if you didn't do it?
It ain't no what if no more.
Right,
you know
exactly.
It's
I'm there.
You know
so what's next?
I did that.
It's what's next. Not what if, but what's next.
There you go. Don't ever give up on yourself because the results are not showing at that moment. There's a lot of things that's been made in this life, in our lifetime,
that didn't happen
in this world,
overnight.
that didn't happen overnight.
Okay.
You have to give it time. I tell people all the time, as much as you want to succeed, bro, you have to be willing to give time. There's 2 things in this life that you're going to have to be willing to do. No matter if you want to or you don't. Sacrifice, you have to adjust. If you can't do them 2 things in this lifetime, life for you is not always be home.
Most definitely.
You see what I'm saying?
Don't look at everything in a negative perspective. That's what I learned from. As a freshman in college, me being a first-generation student, I didn't understand at first, like, why I'm going through this, why I'm going through that. I had nobody to turn to as well, especially if you're dealing with something the first time. You don't know who to go to, what to do, who to ask, who to talk to, but you have to keep that thought in your mind, or even if it's just you and God, what should I do next? What is something that I've been doing that I should change? What is something that I want to go towards that I haven't been doing? And that'll just let you know right then and there. Boom. What sacrifice you got to make? What you got to do?
That's the hardest part.
It's the hardest part, but that's the only part that you have to do to get you to where you want to be.
And
who else going to do it if Penny don't do it?
Fear keeps you stagnant.
What?
Exactly.
Having fear keeps you stagnant.
And it puts you right back in the same position where you started
And the things that you fear, more than likely, those are the things that you shouldn't be afraid to do because they'll get you to where you want to be.
On me. Or
just think about it.
What my coach told me, I never forget my freshman coach. Shout out to Coach Hearn.
It just takes that one chance.
He told me the things that you don't want to do are 9 times out of 10. Now bump that 10 times out of 10. Are the things that you need to do to get to where you want to be. Because you have that feeling that you don't want to do it, that's all the reasons why I say you have to get rid of the excuses, limit your excuses, get rid of the what if, you know what I'm saying, and turn that what if into why
what's
not.
next, or why not.
Why not? Why not? You see what I'm saying? Why can't I do this? Why can't I be that person? So that right there is that's the key to all of it.
That should speak volumes for you, baby.
You just gotta be willing to go the extra mile, bro.
Exactly.
You gotta be willing to do whatever it is that you do.
Because something people need to realize that I've thought about as well. Everything is like survival of the fittest. This world, survival of the fittest. Right now, survival of the fittest. Everything we do is literally depending on you. The way you eat depends on what you do. The way you pay for your food. How do you go to work? You know what I mean? You're literally on your own. You cannot and should not ever rely on the next individual to feed you, to make your plate, or to make you feel whole. So with that being said, damn it, OG Penny Smooth said it. Punch yourself first.
I don't know.
Listen, I just want to know. Let's debrief real quick. Let's debrief.
Don't try to break it down.
No, because I I ain't gonna y'all been hit it on the head. And it's simple. If you ain't got it by now, I'm sorry. I just don't know how much more I can be more blank.
If you ain't got it by now, you just ain't gonna get it.
You're not gonna get it. You gotta. Like, sometimes you get lost in the sauce and be too deep for you to get out. You know what I mean? But listen, let's debrief real quick. Let us know. You know what I'm saying? How was the week? What's y'all wins and losses for this week?
Go ahead, OG.
Wins and losses. I'm gonna say I took some wins this week. I can say that first and foremost, being more active. I forced myself to get out of my comfort zone and get out of that mindset of, oh, I can do it tomorrow and doing it today.
Yeah.
Being able to get myself out of the comfort zone of being used to certain stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like what's crazy for me personally, I feel like as soon as I get comfortable, God doesn't allow me to get comfortable. He'd be like, oh, girl, get up, move around. And I'd be like, ooh,
You right. Let me get up.
Let me get right.
Yeah.
Twister, you know what I mean? Left foot on purpose, up.
You right. No.
When God make that move, you gotta make that move. So I'm just saying this to let y'all know I had a successful week. I'm seeing the things change for me themselves. And if you just continue to be positive and to just put that right foot forward, left foot forward, you'll get there. Whether you're uncomfortable or comfortable, just keep going and think positively.
What's your low?
My low, I'm gonna say I was supposed to work out this morning. See? I was tired.
Elo, there she go, bro. I'm calling it out. You don't get no free passes.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
You get no free passes, OG.
But
I called myself
since we on the show,
I said it. I overslept. No, but look, I told them, y'all.
Hold up. She said she told us, but she was.
What did I told her? I did, but no. First and foremost, they didn't even say we were gonna continue working out early this week. He told me somebody picked the time, but let me put him on blast real quick. He ran for the workout yesterday. He left the building early and he left. He didn't even finish. Why? You tell me why. You tell me why.
First of all, we gonna be all the way 100. We gonna tell it all.
I need both sides because it's OG side. It's gonna be your side. It's gonna be the truth. I want to hear your side.
It's gonna be the truth.
Strong.
I want to hear your side.
I had to go take care of some business. You know what I'm saying? In Bitters Creek. But ask her what I did when I got back. I picked up where I left off.
This boy did 5 bitch
It was little dips. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't finish the workout, but you know, I had dips. It wasn't no reason to try to sit there. Now listen, I'm not finna try to play this.
Cool.
I ain't never ran for one.
All I know is I'm back in that mother next one. What's your highs and lows, Mr. Tina, with you?
Oh man, for me, mine kind of fall into like this past weekend. I feel like this past weekend kind of set me up for this week so far. This past weekend, I had both of my sons with me, bro. So like it felt good to be able to interact with both of them and just to see them interact with each other. Like my youngest, he's 5 months, about to be 6 months, and he just think my oldest is the funniest thing alive.
Right.
But it's good that they got that bond.
Exactly. And then my oldest, he's like he's 3, so he's ready to play. And, you know, we play rough with him and everything. So when it comes to his little brother, he don't know what to do, so he just taking me like paddle a little bit. But to me, I was like, man, that's adorable. I love it. I love seeing them. I'm not even gonna care. Like I love seeing them. I love seeing them interact with each other, and it only happens not rarely, but you know, every so often. You know what I'm saying? So I cherish those times and I appreciate those times. Definitely.
And I salute you, man, for being a stand-up. It takes a lot, man, to not only raise one but two, and they both under the age of 5. You know what I'm saying? So that takes a lot, and I salute you to that, man.
Appreciate it.
For me, my highs, man, is again, I got some good news. I'm back rolling. I ain't walking a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Got the whip.
See me rolling.
Man, go ahead. Well, man, what you got, Elo? It's okay to flex a little bit. It's an accomplishment, bro. It's okay, man. Tell them what you got, man. Tell them.
I got me a little, 2017 little Buick. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, man. It's really a blessing. Because, like I say, I had a life-changing experience that happened, a few months ago, and I seen some things that, man, I swear I wish that I could take back. You know what I'm saying? But I understand too that the reason why I seen those things, it helped me. It molded me. It made me, appreciate life more. It made me really appreciate the people that was around me too around that time. You know what I'm saying? And it showed me the ones that really cared for me and the ones that was just there for the moment. You know what I'm saying? So that was a high for me. A low is, man, I just feel like, again, with what we doing, what we building as far as with the brand, with the company, the show, and things like that, I feel like, we ain't where we need to be. I feel like we need to go harder gonna always be a low.
A personal
I'm not.
Okay.
For me, you know
Hard
what I'm saying?
enough,
I'm not going hard enough.
I feel
gotta
that.
go hard enough. So, that man, honestly, like you said, but each week though, each day I take, man, I'm just blessed to wake up and see it another day, bro. Honestly, I can't take it for granted for nothing. But it's enough with all the sob stories and all that. But, nah, man, I just said that take time, man. Take time to sit down and talk to yourself.
Figure things out.
You know,
Most
give
definitely.
yourself the
Stop worrying about
emotion.
everybody else and worry about yourself.
Nah,
you
real
need to,
talk.
even if you have to sit in a room and just meditate with
Take
15
time,
minutes of
man.
silence, just to
Take
get your
time.
thoughts together. Just take the time to think and process and feel how you're feeling. Another thing I do want to add, very important to this episode, that a lot of people that I've been noticing is going through, I don't know if it's depression, anxiety, but everything's going to be okay, guys. Some things you can't talk to certain people about, but what you can do is you can rely on yourself, and nobody's going to get you out of that place or that situation but yourself. So, like I said, it is important to just pray, meditate, do whatever you need to do for your mental health. If you just got to cut people off, man, forget them. If they feel some type of way, let them feel some type of way. Your mental health is important and it matters. So, with that being said, meditate, pray, do what you gotta do. And I had a great talk with the Day Late Show. I don't know about y'all, baby.
I had a good
time,
man.
Before we get up out of here, though, and before we get into the last segment of the show, I just want to ask you this question.
What's up?
What is the next step for Wavy? What can we expect? And little birdie told me, you know what I'm saying, that Mr. Bartender, Mr. T.A.P.T., Mr. Wavy himself,
I'm here.
he has a special surprise. So, you know, let the people know what's going on, man.
So to wrap everything up dealing with Wavy, man, I got a new design that I'm about to drop at the end of this month. I'm gonna put out some crop tops for the ladies,
Show up, man.
some tank tops for the fellas, and I'm not gonna disclose everything else. Y'all gotta wait and see, man. Y'all gotta wait and see. But I got a little surprise for the Wavy family.
Talk to him.
So next week, I need y'all to listen up. Next week, March 17th. Y'all know I'm living out here in Commerce, going to school, all that good stuff. So everybody that's tuning in to the show, and I'm also gonna put it on my Twitter, and I'll give y'all that at the end of the show.
Okay.
But at 12 o'clock at noon, March 17th, I will be in the student center, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to have 6 to 7, maybe 8 packages of my shirts.
Not a shirt, but a package.
A package. You'll get the new logo, and you'll also get the OG logo, what I made back in 2016.
Oh, man.
So I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do at 12 o'clock, March 17th, I'm gonna hide each individual package around the student center. So as I'm doing that, it's first come, first serve. Everything's for the free. But what I need y'all to do, whenever y'all find those packages, follow the Twitter, follow on IG. If you have my number personally, if you have me on Snapchat personally, send me a picture of your little goodie bag. And then I'm going to tell you the rest whenever you send those in. And make sure, y'all are there in the student center. 12 o'clock. You might see me. If you see me, you run up to me, you know, I might just throw you one. I might just throw you one. I might just throw you one. But at 12 o'clock, we gonna have a little fun with the scavenger hunt. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I like.
So you heard it here first. If you're out here,
Might throw in a pair of Playhouse panties in that thing.
See?
Y'all heard it here first.
If you're looking hard enough.
If you in Dallas, Houston, whatever, and you want the free merch,
let us know, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
I told y'all where it's gonna be. I told y'all what time. Now you just gotta be there.
So show some love, show some support. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you get to win you some free stuff. You can't beat that, man. You cannot beat that.
It's all about giving back for me, man.
But you know what time it is, man. You know what time it is. It's my favorite part of the show, man. The favorite part of the
Of course, we're doing a little giveaway as well. Really a $3 raffle, okay?
Hello.
If you guys enter the $3 raffle, only $3, you get a chance to win either a set or a pair of Pearl Green Playhouse panties.
Man, I might have to
Look,
get a raffle for myself for a little lady.
Penny's Playhouse on Instagram. All right. Look, drop as many dollars. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. The more money you send, the higher You ain't hear that from me though.
Fellas, if you want that lingerie for your lady, tap in with Pretty Penny.
Hey, look. You want something to take off of her?
The tourist, which is made for a Virgo. We ain't gotta be perfect, but I'm down to make it work. Though I'm telling you, mama, me and baby, you so untouchable. 1 in a million, baby, I'll do the most for you. You something special, my Celeste, take a toast to you. I do the bragging, baby.